So, Kate, I sent you, this was probably one of my most proudest moments as a boss this week. I sent you a screenshot.
Oh, God, you did.
I asked a coworker to hey, can you do this thing? And they sent me a meme back of Rose from Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead that said, or not Rose.
It was
Christina Applegate. Yeah.
Swell
that says, I'll get right on that, Rose. Implying I was Rose. Can
Bridget.
you believe that? For our longtime listeners.
Bridget.
Oh, that's my dream. I've always wanted to be Rose. She's so inappropriate, but yet amazing. And she saves the company by listening to a high schooler.
All right. Well, I hope your coworker isn't a high schooler, but who knows?
No, she's
never know.
older than me.
Oh my God. But she knew that reference. How funny.
She did. And then I went off and I have to.
Then were you like, have you ever listened to Sisters Who Seen It?
See, you always say this, but the worlds I live in, I don't think I can like share the podcast.
No, I feel that. I don't like advertise it to certain people either.
But if the moments are there that I want to, I want to be like, by the way, and then I'm like, no, I don't, because that's not appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah. We are explicit, listeners. All right?
Yeah.
I don't bleep anymore.
Which, by the way, thank you to our cousin Jenna, who recommended that. Said, hey, why you bleeping? Grow up. And I said, great feedback.
You know, was that why, or did I just get lazy? You decide.
Both.
Or Jenna, take the credit.
Give it to Jenna and you.
Yes. But Bridget is Rose. Bridget does have a cucumber in her house.
You said to me, you go, tell her to get a cucumber. And I was like,
did you tell her?
No, I'm not sharing.
That might have been inappropriate. That could have gone in a bad direction.
No, everything I do is like, I'm so vague about anything I say ever because I assume everything is recorded.
Oh, all right.
So memes are great. Everything can be interpreted like vaguely. And it was the perfect meme. I was like, this is perfect.
What a memory.
I'll get right on that, Rose. I wish the whole team would send that to me. No longer give me a thumbs up on Microsoft Teams. Send me this meme.
I mean, you're the boss. Can't you, like, require that? No? Is that how bosses work?
They're like...
That does feel like a Rose thing to do, doesn't it? So, I don't know.
I come in with big shoulder pads and I tell everybody with bright red hair.
You're like, have you ever had a 48-hour orgasm? My name's Rose. And they're like, what? And you're like, nothing. Don't write that down.
Oh, God.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop. Sisters. Sisters who've seen it.
Hello
there.
Welcome back, listeners.
Welcome back. This is an interesting one.
You ever wonder if you were roofied, but you're home alone? I don't know. Just me? But before we get into that scenario, listeners, I'm going to introduce ourselves so you know what is going on, because there's going to be confusion at some point.
Yes.
So, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
Okay, I'm gonna say the first quote I see, and God help us. Is he your main wiener man? That doesn't even...
Here's the thing. Every quote you could say is random, doesn't make sense, is very 1985. Kate, what's the movie?
Okay, all right. So the movie is Better Off Dead.
Wait, I don't see dots. There's dots.
There's
dots,
fucking,
dots?
there's, IMDb has dots.
What?
I don't know. That's what IMDb has.
Kate, it is. This is a listener pick, Kate.
Oh, yeah. James
F.
Not your James.
Not my James. Another James. Because we just have men that listen to this. Where's the women? And
hello.
He talked about it's really funny team comedy. John Cusack, a young Dan Schneider.
Oh my God.
I hope you're ready because we ain't holding back, James. We are gonna tell it like it is, which is ridiculous.
I hope Bridget has her PowerPoint queued up that proves her theory that actors play themselves.
Absolutely.
Because Dan Schneider was not acting.
He was not.
We should have all seen the signs, okay?
From 1985.
We could have avoided all the feet stuff if we just opened our eyes to the movie.
If Nickelodeon would have looked at this, they would not need to hire him.
Yeah, there we are.
Okay, it is your turn.
No. Wait, is it?
I did Rudy.
Oh.
That was aggressive.
God damn it. Oh, son of a bitch. All right, let me adjust. Jesus Christmas.
Take a moment.
I just watched this movie.
I'll help give you some stalling. Listen,
help.
I'm sorry, I sound terrible. I'm a little sick. Like the worst.
Get right on that, Rose.
So real quick, let's just discuss that Lane, John Cusack, resolves.
Uh-oh, Bridget. Did you type this?
No, I'm going to share my screen so you don't make fun of me.
It's just sometimes you type things in there. You know.
Read this to me. What does this say?
Oh, yeah. Lane resolves. That's not the correct use of resolves.
Okay, to commit suicide after his girlfriend dumps him for the captain of the ski team. His unsuccessful attempts only lead into more awkward and embarrassing situations and eventually to a race that has unexpected results. What a weird
This is
thing.
not a great description. They leave out a potentially schizophrenic teenager.
Oh, God.
Potential teen pregnancy. Potential human trafficking. There's a lot of potentials, everybody.
What?
Yeah.
There was cartoons? If you told me that I was on acid when I watched this, I'd be like, I was. That's acid.
Okay, and I know that I, sometimes I get a little wordy with my synopses, but I do just want to point out that the way that this movie started scared me. Yeah. And I don't think it was supposed to, but it did, because it's just like a blank screen and like no music.
Oh, horrible.
Dead silence.
Horrible.
And then you hear like a nightmarish woman scream.
I jumped out of my seat.
And then it's like, it's a cartoon, LOL. And I was like, what?
I jumped out of my seat. I was like, what
this?
in the is happening?
I mean, it was very Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And, oh my God, don't tell Mom the babysitter's dead.
Roger Rabbit.
And Roger Rabbit. Well, yeah. All right. So okay. Synopsis.
All right.
Summary, Katie. Summary. We're summarizing.
Okay. Stop stalling. Go for it.
Okay. So we have Lane, who is John Cusack. He is, he's a high schooler. And when we meet him, we all pretty quickly see the red flags, I hope, and realize he is obsessed with his girlfriend. Her name is Beth.
Yeah.
And he's got lots of photos and he's like, Beth's the best. Beth likes skiing. I'm gonna go try for the ski team. Beth.
Ooh.
And meanwhile, Beth's like, Lane's a lot. And I'm like, you right, Beth.
Yeah.
I don't, get out of there, girl. Save yourself. But pretty quickly, she ends up dumping his ass. And she dumps him for the captain of the ski team who, what is his name? Not that. Who was it? Roy?
There's so many characters that look the same because they were like Ken dolls.
Yo, this guy was 100% a Ken doll.
He was Ken enough to ski.
His job was skiing. I'll say it.
What's his name?
I think it's Roy. I'm seeing a lot of Roy's buddies.
Okay, yeah, Roy.
Okay, so Roy is a jerk, and she dumps him, and then he's sad. And yes, guys, as Bridget read, there are jokes made about being suicidal, and yeah, I have things to say about that, but it's played for giggles. And this movie is a lot of physical comedy.
Yeah.
Comedy in quotation marks a lot of the time, but it's there.
Yeah.
And so that kind of plays into those subplots where any attempt that he does, which there are, how many are there? Like 3 at least?
Ugh.
Maybe more.
I didn't even know what was happening.
I don't know, but they always end up in something silly and doofy, and then obviously he's fine. But other people sometimes are not fine. We'll talk about it. This movie could be a subset of Saw, okay? Okay.
It's like an 80s Saw and somehow has like a PG rating.
How did we get here? I don't know. So that's kind of happening in the background. Then there's a bunch of other shit where he's trying to get Beth back. She's a big slut, good for her, dating a dude, whatever. He has a neighbor who is Dan Schneider, who sucks. And they have a foreign exchange student named Monique. And I don't know, I guess we had to have her so we get over Beth. It's the 80s. I don't know. Is that the only way we move on and don't die? I don't know. I guess.
Was Beth trafficked?
I think Beth was human trafficked.
Okay.
That's not funny, but like, I don't have another explanation.
But I don't think the film meant it to be, but it was.
I don't think it did either, but I am nervous. And what else can you fucking say? It's a bunch of weird shit. I don't know. Him and Monique love each other. Dan Schneider's weird. And in the end, Bridge, somehow they're skiing. So it's a little Rudy where you're like, is this a ski movie?
But we end at Dodger Stadium in LA.
I screamed. I was like, why? Where are we? And listen, I'm no map expert, but something's not right about that. Okay. In the end, he wins some ski race that really doesn't mean anything to anyone at all.
At all.
I don't even think people bet money, so what's the fucking point? And that's it. So, the end.
Here's the thing. Instead of watching it, you're better off dead. I'm kidding.
Whoa.
Here's the thing. This was written and directed by, and I know you don't know this person, but their name says Savage Steve Holland.
Is that a wrestler?
It sounds like one, but it's a writer, director, and cartoonist. And he based this movie off of his real experience.
Oh, no.
Some girl broke up with him and he tried to do this, and he said that he attached some rope to a pipe. He tripped. His body pulled the pipe flooded the garage, and his mom came in and yelled at him about flooding the garage, and then this kicked off this idea for a movie. I think there's something positive in that. But also, wow,
and I'm looking at his IMDb photo, and unfortunately he looks like Roy. So there's a lot of psychological breakdowns I feel like we could do with this information, and I just don't think we have the time, I gotta say. Well, that's a time. Okay. It's funny, the cartoon angle, I didn't hate it when he first started doing it. Like the one scene where he was in the cafeteria, I was like, oh, it is a little schizophrenic, but I don't hate this angle where you're having some come to Jesus moments via cartoon hallucinations. But then we didn't do anything else with that. So what's the fucking point?
It was kind of Donnie Darko vibes where I was like, what's real? What's not? And I gotta say, the doodles were kind of bad. Is that mean?
Oh, it might be mean to Savage, Bridge, but
sorry, Savage. But they were
it's okay.
Not now looking back, I was like, somebody better could have drawn this, But I guess if you wrote, directed, and drew the cartoons, you get to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, Kate, we start off the film with a blood-curdling scream.
I fell
jumped out of my seat, and I was like, what the living? And then we watched some weird cartoon. What the heck was the cartoon about? What's happening?
Something about a horse. There's a horse there, and a lady. That's all I got. That's all I recall.
And then it's just the title, and then we see John Cusack waking up, very Ferris Bueller.
Yo.
And he looks, first of all, I thought he had VR goggles on. And I was like, what's happening?
I fucking wish.
He's like, I'm in the metaverse.
Oh, God.
He takes a way too big, like 8x10 photo of his girlfriend, printed.
Like from Sears. It's a lot.
And kisses it and is like, I love you so much. And then we proceed to see his horrific family. What? What?
Kissing a picture frame right when you wake is just, that's not what I think about, you know? And I've had some crushes, but no.
Listen, I've been in love, over the moon, and I'm not doing that. No. I don't care who you are.
The first thing going to my mouth is water, you know? Not your fucking Sears photo from the 80s.
I was like,
Get
wait,
out.
what? But, okay.
All right, the family.
What is with this
how
family?
do we...
How do we... What do we do?
I can tell you a note I wrote about the mom, which I don't even know when this happened.
This is this is based on his real mom, by the way. That at 1 year, she gave this director a TV dinner for Christmas. Your mouth is wide open and you're in shock, and that's he got that from his real life.
Bridge, like the psychological profile is mounting for Savage. We have to write him a letter. I'm so nervous. The note I wrote about the mom, I can't even fucking find it, but I remember it clearly, is the mom okay?
I feel like she, you know what she gave me vibes
Did
of?
she have brain damage?
1930s, like, on drugs housewife, like.
Oh, like on some uppers?
Like a lot of uppers, and just like, cause it started out by her, like, cooking bad food, like she boiled the bacon, and then it went to a meal that came alive. And then it
I wasn't
across
sure.
The table, and then
I was like, if we're going in a sci-fi movie direction, I'm ready all the time. But again, we don't really do that, so I'm scared.
And then it went to her just handing frozen TV dinners for presents. I mean,
and she got her husband an aardvark jacket, Bridge, made of real aardvark. Is her words, not mine.
Okay, wait. Let's also set the scene on. They're in the suburbs.
Oh, God.
Somehow near the most incredible mountain I've ever seen in my life, but also near Dodgers Stadium in Los Angeles.
I don't know where we are.
That doesn't match. That's not how. I know geography is hard for you, but that's
I don't
not
know it.
How that
no,
works.
I knew that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The dad is maybe the most normal, but he's still kind of fucking weird.
He's grumpy.
He is grumpy.
And the whole like everything from him is how he hates basically his family and society around him. That's his personality trait.
It's also like 1930s-ish mentality.
Yo, 80s were dark movies.
Yeah, why is this PG? What the fuck?
And John Cusack always plays this same role of like dry humor, like whatever, life's you know. And I'm like, how is he gonna interact with this family? And he just comes down with skis and just like barrels his dad and heads out the door.
He's like, fuck this family. Also, there's a younger brother who is ordering things via cereal box coupons. What? We joke a lot how one day when we make our parody movie, like, random humor is great sometimes. Yeah. But, like, I don't know about that one, you know?
Okay, now that I understand that Savage Steve Holland based this off of pieces of his life, I feel like he just took all of his journals and then, like, got high, wrote all these giggly things on a board, and was okay, guys, make a movie. And they were like, and then they just had to try to piece it together. I don't know.
Well, that better be the case for the Paperboy subplot, because I think it's time to talk about it. I'm going to be 100% honest. I hated it at first, and then I kind of loved it.
I agree. I think
it grew on me.
It became Jim Carrey absurd. Like, it got to the point where it was, like, not gonna end. And husband James, not James, who recommended this, said to me that he was like, because he's older than both of us, he's like, this was like a movie people would quote all the randomness, and they would always quote the $2.
$2? That's
Where's
so
my
funny.
$2?
I mean, at first I was like, like, oh, is this just like a little like brat paperboy who breaks windows? But then that wasn't even the point of it. It was more that he just wanted his fucking money. And by the way, I just want to point out the family doesn't pay him. So who's really in the wrong here? You know? Boy's got to get paid, okay? He needs to start a union. This might be the prequel to Newsies, if I'm being honest.
If I had a nickel for every time you tell someone to start a union, that is not in any industry to do it.
It's literally the plot of Newsies, guys. Come on. Yeah. So that was, I don't know, that was weird. But we very quickly, thank God, go ski. And
this is the December holiday part, Kate. See?
This is, you know,
winter.
Bridge.
I got
there
winter.
was snow, and there was winter, and there was Christmas even.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good.
I see. I told you. Here's the thing. So I guess he doesn't know how to ski, and so he's trying to impress her, but like he's already dating her. So why does he have to ski to impress her? Right?
Yeah.
And then all the Ken dolls show up in their matching onesies, and they just ski better. So she's like, I'd rather be with hot people. Bye.
She literally, standing next to John Cusack, her current boyfriend, says aloud as she sees Ken doll Roy, and she goes, "What a hunk." I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, you know what would make sense about this movie is if there was like a after credits scene where it was like, by the way, this town actually had a gas leak. And so, you know, just so you know, like, that's what was going on, because I just didn't understand the choices people made ever at all.
I have to tell you, she gave me, this is a very nuanced reference, the Laguna Beach reality TV show.
Oh!
She gave me Kristen Cavallari vibes.
You know what?
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. I sure fucking do.
I guarantee our male listeners are Googling that now.
Was she the one who dated,
the football player, I think, right?
Brody? Was she dating Brody?
Oh, I don't know. She dated like all of them, but she literally was like, I'm hot.
Except Spencer, he sucks.
And she was like, I'm hot and I'm dating all of you. And like, that's how Beth was, this film. She was like, I'm hot and I'm dating all of you. Bye. And John Cusack was like sad and nobody cared. She didn't care. She was moving on.
Beth also, for any horror fans, she is in Nightmare on Elm Street. What the frig is her character's name? Tina, I want to say?
Oh.
She's the first death in that movie.
Wow.
Yeah, so, you know, I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
You can come to your own conclusions.
Yeah, we see it.
Connections. All right. Yeah, so the breakup again, it happens. It technically happens off screen, but we hear her, like, what she said to him. And she basically was like, I want to date someone hot. Like, she literally says that. She's like, I gotta go. And I wish she was more honest and said, you scare me. I need the police. Goodbye. But she doesn't. So now she's the jerk, I guess. And this was written by a man. So let's just all
a man named Savage.
You know what? Yep. My God.
Also, we meet his friend, who is played by Curtis Armstrong, who is kind of this like 80s side character, like famous side character. Revenge of the Nerds, Risky Business.
He was in Scrooged.
Oh, that too. Okay.
Yeah, he was like the cab driver. That was later. You know, not in the 80s, I don't think.
But he's weird when he comes on screen. You see his like face and voice. You're like, how old are you? Going to high school? Like he just gives off like 55-year-old man.
He also wore a Charles Dickens hat. I'm sorry to make another Scrooge reference in the same two sentences, but like, why did he look like a hobo?
I don't know. I don't know what was happening. But then this kicks off the whole point of the movie, where he comes home and he decides he has to unalive himself. But it was like funny. So Katie is blinking a lot. She has bright eyes and is blinking a lot.
Okay.
Because as the mental health professional in the room, what do we do with this, Kate?
Well, in here, okay, again, I don't know if this was like the actual train of thought in real time progression for Mr. Savage, but like the movie, you see him like when it cuts to him, he's already got like the freaking thing around his neck, and you're like, oh shit, this got real. But then really quickly, he's like, wait a second, what am I doing? I've never like done this. I've never done that. So thought that was gonna be it, and we were gonna be like, that was silly of me, moving on. But then, like, the rest of the movie, it's like, no, fuck those thoughts of hope we had before. You thought those were important? No, waste of thoughts, that's what they were. And I just didn't get it.
I didn't get it at all, but the joke is that he, like, tries to hang himself.
But he tries to get out of it, and then the mom butt checks the door open. And it hits him, and somehow that makes him, like, fall, and I don't know how he didn't die. And she might have been incarcerated for manslaughter if that happened.
She definitely was on drugs.
I hope so.
She was on loopy drugs.
There's no other way to explain anything that happened.
So bizarre.
I didn't understand
so,
at all.
After this part in the movie, I thought, how much do I pay attention? You know? I was like, how much do I try to pay attention to the plot?
Is there a quiz? Like, what do we think?
Like, what? You know, like, or do I just kind of take a seat and, like, let it wash over me, you know?
There is a scene right after this that I also did appreciate. I'm seeing it now, where the friend, Charles, I guess, like, Lane is, like, telling him about it. I don't know where, they're in, like, a grocery store. And Charles is like, suicide is never the answer. And I was like, that's right, Charles. Yeah. And then he immediately goes, we live in the smallest town in the world. You can't even get real drugs here, Lane. And I was like, that's a perspective. But again, one that is hopeful and planning for the future. So, okay, I'll take it.
I'll take it too. I mean, even if he is 55, you know, going on 16, whatever, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Kate, take it from here. What's happening?
All right, I'm like trying to follow the progression. The Jello blob that comes alive is in here. I don't feel like that's important to talk about. I'm not really sure the point of that.
It's not.
The 8-year-old brother has a laser gun that explodes things. It won't be the last time things explode. Just keep that in mind.
Okay.
And then we have I didn't know this was a flashback. I thought this was a dream. It is a flashback that's basically him remembering when he met Beth. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I took it as.
And then that kind of gives us the info where he's like, we've been dating for 6 months. How could she break up with me? And I laughed and laughed and laughed, Bridge, because if I had $1 for every 6-month relationship that ended in mine, oh my God, I wouldn't need to work.
Listen, if any guy is weird like him, dump him.
Yeah, please.
Pull a Kristen.
Don't wait 6 months.
Get out of there.
Quicker.
But then you start to see that he's just like mopey. You know, he's like mopey at school, he's mopey at home.
Wait.
What?
Can we talk about the Bob scene?
There's a million! Which one?
I know, but the classroom Bob scene.
Is this with the freaking teacher?
This was the gas leak, Bridge. There's no other explanation for the behavior of these students. What the fuck? It was a math class?
I don't know. Yes. And that teacher is in like every 80s movie being like, hi, I'm the boring teacher. I play the same role in every 80s movie.
Wait, but the entire class was like fucking obsessed with him. It was the most attentive, enthusiastic high school class I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, I don't get it. What's the joke? Like, he didn't have boobs. Like, it's not like we're all staring at boobs. He's not super hot. What's going on? I don't get it.
I don't know, but then when he asked to date Beth,
I threw up.
What?
Everywhere. Disgusting.
The class ends, he goes, hey, can you come here? I know you've been dating Beth. Can I date her? The teacher. Kate. What is the protocol when that happens?
I'm calling the police if that happens. And you should too, listeners. Also, right before that, we have a very casual mention of potential teen pregnancy. The most casual that's ever been casual. Are they pregnant?
Are they not? Does anyone know?
Nobody knows, especially me. I don't know what else to say. I don't even know how to move on from that.
I honestly, now that we're talking about it, I think people should take mushrooms and watch this film.
It might be more enjoyable.
I think it would be more enjoyable.
It might be like
following the plot doesn't make sense.
No, because this is when he becomes schizophrenic, and then he talks to Cartoon Beth, and Cartoon Beth is like, "You're such a fucking scrub," and I was like, "That's right, Cartoon Beth." And then she's like, "Nobody wants to date you," and he's like, "I'm going to date that hot girl," and she goes, "You can't date her. She's dating the the entire basketball team at
Okay.
once. That's another Kristen Cavalier.
Okay.
Actually.
Why did she have to get naked?
Why was she in a quadruple relationship? What's going on?
Why are we in the cafeteria?
Why were there rollerblades?
We do what?
Why did she have a matching outfit?
We do one trip, and her whole outfit goes, and she's standing there naked.
That was a Dan Schneider idea. I bet Dan Schneider was like, hey.
I guarantee he said that.
Hey, guys.
He definitely was like, you know what, you should do this, and also I'm going to go work at Nickelodeon.
He's like, also, show me your feet. Ugh.
Then he mopes home being beat up by all the basketball players that are in the quadruplet.
Honestly, I wish they beat him up more. I'm not going to lie.
I thought he
deserved a broken arm for that.
Wow.
A bloody nose? Come on.
So we get home and I'm just like, so we also have this subplot with the car.
Oh.
That he's got this like beat up car.
Why?
That, by the way, the 80s, his dad was like, you borrowed $200 for that car. I was like, $200 is my grocery bill for the necessities.
What the fuck?
Oh my god. And literally, the only point of the car was so one day the French girl could fix it up.
I think that was it.
What?
I think that was all. There's also there's a lot of subplots in this movie now that you mention it. The subplot where whenever he's stopped at a red light, a car pulls up of
Who are
two.
These people? Are these stalkers?
I don't know. Yes? Maybe? Were they hallucinations?
Was it racist? I don't know.
It is racist because at one point those characters are eating Chinese food in their car, and I was like, I gotta go because this is terrible. But his shitty car, he would always lose the race, and then it was like he had a nice car at one point and he won, and I was like, who cares though? Do I care? I don't think I care.
The 80s were wild.
Yeah, it fucking was.
So eventually we start to realize that the neighbor, who is Dan Schneider, who plays like a horrible person, is dating the foreign exchange student that we think is being trafficked at their house.
I don't think they're dating.
Okay.
They live together.
But I felt like the mom wanted them to date.
I hated that.
That was so gross.
She was the trafficker, if anything.
Ew.
And we get to Christmas. It's just Christmas now. Now it's a Christmas movie. And there's another suicide attempt in the car. In a car in the garage where he has like the gas on and whatever. And then again, another moment where he's like, what am I doing? This is crazy. And he breaks through the garage. And this is where the foreign exchange student sees it. Also just not call the police. There's a lot of missed police call opportunities. Okay, take a sip every time. You'll have a good time. And that's weird. And I don't know why they never talked earlier, but they don't. They just look at each other from afar and it's weird. And Bridge, I think this is the point where we have what I'm assuming is a New Year's Eve dance.
I guess, and
or are we lost?
Blacked out.
Okay. The only reason I took notice, particularly of this dance, and I want to find this to see if I prove my theory correct, but I am 95% certain that the singer at this dance was Dottie from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
No!
I swear to God. I swear. And now I need to prove it, but I don't know how. Let's see.
No way.
Because she's a singer. What the fuck is your name? Tree Trimmer? Nope, that's not her. Elizabeth Daly. Yes! It's Dottie! She was the singer.
No way!
Yeah. And
I
she
gotta
sings
say,
a song called Better Off Dead. Now we have a theme song. Did you know? Did you want that? Did you? Nope. Okay.
When the singer got on, she was doing her thing. I thought, this is a nice break. I feel like I know what's happening.
We need normal things to happen.
This is a person singing at a dance who seems to have their act together. Okay? They look normal. They're singing normal. My brain was like, okay, we can pause from trying to understand what the fuck is happening with this movie.
Yeah.
But then it quickly went away and we're back to chaos.
I don't even know what chaos happened. Oh, this is where Lane and Monique is the foreign exchange student being human trafficked. They connect and he's like, wow. And he doesn't think she speaks English. And she doesn't speak English. until she decides to speak English. Why didn't she speak English here, Bridge?
Okay, so I think she was
Help.
saying how I'm being trafficked. I don't want them to know I know English. And so she shared it with John Cusack, and he's like, holy shit. And by the way, this is why, like, so many countries, I mean, there's so many reasons why all these countries hate us, but, like, this is another perfect example. She's like, what do you mean? Of course I speak English. Like, why would I come here and not speak English? And blah, 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 blah. And he's like, wow! You speak English.
Big reveal!
And he's like, holy cow, now you're hot. You know, I was like, ugh. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
And
ew.
It was weird. I have notes that there were hookers with an 8-year-old.
Okay. How do we get to the plot?
How do we?
We're cooking burgers like we are, and Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, and then a cheeseburger cartoon comes on.
I swear to God, I wrote Pig Burger is just as bad as working at Clown Dog, except you don't get a date out of it. Why was this a thing?
By the way, his training was don't wash your hands, get going. In COVID times, excuse me?
In the 80s, I believe that.
Excuse me.
It is foul. I did not understand. Sentient Burger plays guitar and sings? Why? What's the plot? Is there a plot? That wasn't even a cartoon. That was like claymation.
It reminded me of the old California
Raisins
commercials. Where they'd sing, like, do-do-do-do.
God, I fucking wish they were here. I could have used them. I'm not gonna lie. We have more racism that comes up, where now the foreign exchange student, Dan Schneider and his weird mom are eating dinner at Lane's house, and the mom goes, I've prepared a French meal. She goes, here's some French fries.
Ugh.
French. What did she say? There was ketchup in there. Why the fuck was there ketchup? Ketchup isn't French. Is ketchup French? Why was there ketchup?
I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know either. And some other shit that's stupid. French bread. I don't fucking know. I don't even think I can say the next line of what happens.
Just
I think I need you to say it.
Just say it.
Ricky's mom blows up. You think I'm making a joke, you guys, but like she blows up.
And then the rest of the movie, she's like Two-Face with a mask, like a bandage covering her face.
I'm telling you, there is a horror movie subplot. Monique is living through a horror movie, okay?
Oh my God, that's our movie. We do it all over through Monique's perspective, and it's just it's taken 8. Liam Neeson shows up and kicks the shit out of Dan Schneider. Everybody's happy.
I fucking wish. I would pay so much money to see that. Yeah, I don't even know what to say.
Okay, all I know is eventually the movie's like, wait, skiing.
Right.
Skiing. Oh, oops. We gotta go back to the skiing subplot. And so then Monique is like, you can do it, Lane. All you need is just a couple wins, and then you can ski the hardest hill ever, even though you have absolutely no practice.
All you need is to fall down the mountain in ski gear with me.
The 80s?
And it'll be great.
The 80s?
Somehow it was.
I swear to God, the 80s were like, you know what we need? Confidence. And then it just
That's all you need.
It just ruined the entire country for years and years and years. We don't need confidence. We need practice. Okay, we have to do better.
I also want to point out that before this, he takes her, Monique, on a date to Pig Burger. Now, listeners, there's a lot of dudes out there, and let me just say it for the record, don't go there for a date or ever.
He knows the sanitation there.
They're definitely getting, like, a tapeworm or something. There has to be. It's not good. And he whips out a saxophone! I cannot. Why? Who? Why? Oh my God, I fucking can't.
This movie, when it released, did horrible. But it was the time where VHS tapes were like a thing, and it became a cult classic, and I think it's like the Napoleon Dynamite of 1985. Like, everybody was like,
I could see that,
actually. What in the hell is happening? I kind of love it.
I could fucking see that. Yeah,
and
it's a good comparison.
That John Cusack was not happy when the film was, he was like, I hate this film. And then, like, years later was like, it's fine. Like, whatever. But I think he was kind of embarrassed. Because, he's like somewhat of a high caliber actor, and like this was like a shit show.
It really was. And he was probably like, ew, Dan Schneider. Like, I had to be near him. Everything sucks. Okay. Now we're skiing. Monique is an Olympic level skier. Who knew?
I have
Not
to tell
fucking
you,
me.
Let
say it.
Okay, I have to tell you. They took Monique's stunt double.
Oh my God.
And they must have like just walked up to a Walmart parking lot and was like, raise your hand if you can ski. Here's a curly wig. Because this person was not a woman. It was a giant, tall man, and it was pretending to be her skiing down the mountain. I've never laughed harder. It was so obviously not her. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I did have a moment when I was watching it where I thought to myself, I hope Bridget looks up the fun facts because, maybe some of these people did do their own stunts. And then I was like, Katie, what the fuck is wrong with you? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. John Cusack is not skiing on one leg down a level 12 or whatever fuck thing this is. Like, what is going on? And that's what happens, you guys. John Cusack somehow has one ski, and this is where the paper boy, who has periodically come in and out of the movie, chasing him down for $2. He refuses to pay. I think that's messed up, but I'll get over it. And now he goes to race Ken Dalroy down the hill. I'm not really sure what we're trying to win here.
So I know you hate the show Succession, but there is a character called Kendall Roy, and the way that you just said that made me want to laugh so hard. But I know you absolutely don't watch or hate Succession, but like subconsciously maybe you do.
I don't think I do.
Kendall Roy.
I believe that. And Bridge, in here is where I had my favorite scene. Not sarcastically, it actually was my favorite, and this is the only time I laughed.
Off the cliff?
I laughed. At first I yelled, "What?" But then I laughed because it kept going. It was the perfect amount of throwing
I thought about
a dummy off of a mountain with a little boy. It was a little boy. But just to point out, this is a little boy that gets thrown off a mountain, and the movie shows this dummy falling for at least a minute. It was amazing. And I was like, well, that kid's dead. And then they right away were like, don't worry, he's alive. And I was like, my God.
You're absolutely right. It was like, if it was like 20 seconds shorter, it would have been bad. But it kept going.
It just kept going.
You saw the dummy like flimsy in the wind.
So ridiculous.
And then when he gets up, he's like, whoa.
He's
and
like,
then he's just like, it's fine.
It's just like... It was very Anchorman when Baxter gets thrown off the bridge. I was like, oh my God, this is the same energy.
I was like, but why are we one ski? I was like, but why do we have to be one ski?
We didn't.
When he wins through the really like Olympic level run, he gets celebrated but doesn't care about Beth. Now he cares about Monique. And what?
Monique, again, in real time is getting human trafficked because Ricky and the mom are like, grab her! Get her in the car! And I was like,
horrible.
Ah! And then Lane is like, I will fight you, Ricky, for Monique. And I was like, why can't we just call the police? Okay. All right. That's just me in the background sipping hot chocolate. Like, why, guys? Why can't we call the police? Jesus fucking Christ. I'm over it. And then, Bridge, where do we end up? How do we end up?
Dodger Stadium in LA with a car and a saxophone.
You know, I didn't realize it was Dodger Stadium. I just thought it was a baseball field. And I was like, did I black out? Was there a baseball reference? I guess there was. I blacked out.
How did the car get on the field?
Maybe Liam Neeson helped them because I can't explain it. And that's the end, by the way. That is the fucking end. Wow. Oh, no, it's not. It's not the end because a rocket ship explodes through the house. I'm not kidding,
I might have turned off the film at that point.
That's... No fucking CGI, but it's not CGI because it's the 80s. Rocket ship explodes to the house, and somehow no one dies. There should have been more deaths. Okay, that's my critique.
Kate,
two out of 5. There should have been more deaths.
Are you better off watching this or better off skipping it?
I will watch it if I have mushrooms. Maybe.
I think you watch this with a group of people on drugs. Great for a drug group film.
You're having a pot brownie party.
Perfect.
Like
snow day. You're snowed in.
This is it.
It's cold.
Oh, God.
It's cold. You are bored. You got pizza.
You don't need the plot. Yes.
You don't need the plot.
No.
You got pizza.
Yes.
You got somebody that can draw cartoons. And so you just add your own.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Will they talk to us? Yeah.
That's all I got, Kate. I don't.
All right. You know, James, we did that.
We did
for
it,
you,
James.
So
I love you.
we love you.
Did you love that? Question mark. Nobody
James,
knows.
have you watched this in a while? Let us know. The real plot twist would be if James was like, I was actually the actor who was the paperboy, and that's why.
James, are you
know.
the $2 paperboy?
I never got my $2, and I flew off a cliff, and this is fucked up. All right, Bridge. It's my pick. And I am not doing a listener pick.
And
so
no
sorry.
one's shocked.
No one's surprised. But I am doing a movie that is celebrating its 20th anniversary, which is fucking crazy to think about.
Wow.
I saw this movie in theaters. I remember seeing this in theaters, which is wild.
Mama.
Considering how popular this movie is now, because guess what, guys? It's a holiday movie. Okay?
All right.
And I would argue it is probably one of the most popular holiday movies around now. Like, it's held the test of time for 20 years. I don't know a person who has not seen it.
Oh.
We just did a movie with the director of this movie, which if...
Savage Steve Holland?
It's not Savage, God help us all. That's not it. Oh, no.
Huh.
We have done movies with some of these other Actually, have we done...
I don't know.
I don't know either. You're going to have to help me when you figure out what it is.
Okay.
Can I read the one sentence?
I don't know.
I can't. So I'll just tell you, it's a comedy family.
Oh.
It's set in New York City.
Oh.
It is not Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. We already did that.
Oh my God, New York accent.
There are Jets fans in this movie. That's another awesome thing about the movie. There is the late, great James Caan. No, not getting it.
Why do I not know this?
All right, I will read the one sentence. Raised as an oversized elf, Buddy travels from the North Pole to New York City to meet his biological father, Walter Hobbs, who doesn't know he exists. He's in desperate need of some Christmas spirit. Bridge, we're watching Elf.
Wow.
20th anniversary. How crazy is that?
Watch out for the yellow ones. They don't stop.
Oh, that's a good line.
That's 20 years old.
Isn't that wild?
We're
I
old.
was in like sixth or seventh grade when I saw this in theaters.
Wow.
And I distinctly remember the scene where the Santa Claus, they're in Central Park and the Santa Claus is trying to get the sleigh to fly. And he's like, I'm getting too old for this. And I was like, that's funny. But yes, John Favreau, who we just had in Rudy, he was D-Bob. He is the director of Elf. And he also plays a small cameo part in it. He's like a doctor.
D-Bop.
D-Bop is here. We got Will Ferrell. We got James Caan. We got Zoe Deschanel. We got Bob Newhart.
Wow.
And Ed Asner. Mary Steinberg. We love to see her. She's from Step Brothers.
You're going to get me in the spirit with this one.
Yes, we got to get in the Spirit Bridge. 'Tis the season.
I'm here for it.
Wait, have we done a movie with Will Ferrell? I'm blacking out.
I don't think we have.
I feel like no, right? Isn't that crazy? I know.
Well, the really like silly comedies are hard to review because like
because they're already funny.
Stupid, yeah.
I mean, stupid.
Well, stupid funny, you know.
Yeah,
I'm here for it. I'm excited.
Zoe Deschanel was in 500 Days of Summer. We did that. So yeah, I mean, I watch this every year. It's usually played on TV a lot. And you know what I will say too, which you always got to appreciate. It's a movie as popular as it is. There has not been a sequel, which I do appreciate for, some movies. Yeah.
Buddy the Elf.
Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? Well.
Yeah, go for it.
Bridge.
Yeah, Kate, yeah. What in the world where do we go from here?
I think I want to go skiing because you can ski.
I can ski.
So I'm going to say, Bridge, if some Ken doll was being a bitch and was like, I can beat you in a ski contest, I would recruit you to ski or be my stunt double, if anything. And then I would be the paper boy and I would push that guy off the cliff and watch him fall for a minute. And then you would win the ski contest.
I I love
Yes.
that.
Yes.
And Kate, to help you, I would actually create that union that you're looking
Wow,
for.
thank
so,
God.
So when I take my ski winning money that I've made up, I'll add it to your
rights.
union, and you guys can just really get those $2 you're looking for.
All we want is $2, you guys. I mean, with inflation and
it's about
rising
$1,000
costs, it's probably it's probably a lot more now. But oh yes, and listeners, if you also just love that paperboy falling off the cliff scene, I don't know what else to say. It was iconic. And if you think that pig burger is not up to code. Somebody's got to get in. The health department's got to get on that. Don't eat there.
Ew.
And if you think that Monique was actually living through a horror movie / Taken 8, and we needed Liam Neeson to beat up Dan Schneider, and hopefully that can happen one day, you should write us a review.
Woo!
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So this movie, Better Off Dead, was requested by James. James went on the website, filled out the form. He went on a list. Bridget looked at the list. I do look at the list sometimes, you guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But listen, it's December, okay? We need the holiday. We need the winter. We need cults. Okay, it's cults. We need that. All right, so get your recommendations on there. But any recommendation you get goes on a list, and we will do it eventually. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
Give us money.
Woo!
It's coffee.
Woo!
And it's cold, so we need
It's cold.
Something hot.
We do.
And then there's merchandise that you can buy. And guys, it's the holidays. Like, get
Yes.
on it. Get your presents for your friends. Your
Yes.
sisters who've seen it, buddies. Get on it. Get it now. There should be an influx.
I'm
We're
pretty
ready.
sure. Do we have ornaments on there? I have
Oh.
Sisters Who've Seen It ornaments. Do we sell those?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
But we can look
There's
into
other
it.
stuff though, guys. So
All right.
just
I'm
take a
on it.
peek
I'm on it.
there
Maybe I'll add
and,
ornaments if possible. Okay.
Okay. Yes, listeners. So check all that out, and we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week for Elf. I also love the music in this movie.
This is great. I was just going to say, this is great music and just great scenes.
Every time it rings for smackaroni. Shoopy doopy. Oh, God. It's great. So good. I'm ready.
That might be your theme song.
Shoopy doopy. Yep. That's me.
All right, Kate, I love you. Bye, listeners.
Love
you. You're
Love you
better
guys.
off alive. We love you. Bye-bye.
You fucking are. Bye-bye. Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I love you.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.